Two instant classics, Henderson and Hua. Chandler is unbeaten and takes Alvarez's belt. And is the UFC ready to take the state of New York to court? Inside MMA is live, and it's on. And don't just watch MMA. Come inside MMA. I'm Kenny Rice, joined as always by the Pilgrim of Pugilism, Bas Rutten.
I did the pilgrim thing one time, right? Remember when I said with the turkey, I brought the turkey, I caught the turkey. The turkey was running around, caught it, leg locked it, and gave it to the people. That was the way I presented myself. Yes. That was the turkey impression. That's what they do with the thing also underneath.
That's it.
Sometimes you got a really long one.
Yeah.
Never mind. I don't want to say this.
No, go ahead. We saved a drumstick for everyone.
I write it down.
What a wonderful holiday panel we have. Always good to see these people. Uriah Faber's back with us, former champ. Dominic Cruz up next after defeating Brian Bowles. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Well, you didn't seem it there. You seem sort of excited now.
Super excited.
It was because of the jokes Boss and I were telling before the show, wasn't it?
Do it. Pretty much.
Yeah, we won't tell him ever again. Tito Ortiz is back, former champ, getting ready to take on Little Nog. That's just a few days away. Welcome back, Tito.
Thank you. And do it.
Do it. You were right here. The last time you were here, you were right here.
Yes.
Is that right? He wanted to come right here. Remember, Tito was right here.
I tried to fill Boss's shoes.
Yeah.
And didn't do a better job.
It was awesome. Really good.
Thank you.
Yep.
And we welcome in for the first time Ronda Rousey, who is an Olympian, Pan Am gold medalist, and on a streak, defeating Julia Budd over the weekend. Welcome in for the first time.
Thank you for having me.
It's just a blast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a trip.
Nothing else, you learn new jokes.
Just before we go online, there's some jokes.
You can tell them to your friends. We'll put them online.
Yep.
We'll put them on HD.net. They're family entertainment. All right, what makes a classic? Here's what really makes a classic. You don't know a whole lot about a sport, but you tune in, you're watching a ball game, you're watching a fight, and you say, wow, something special is unfolding here. It's so good, I can see it immediately after it ends. Such was the case in the headline event at UFC 139 over the weekend. Henderson and Shogun in a showdown. Ron Kruk was in San Jose. He has the wrap-up.
The top 3 fights at UFC 139 featured 6 former champions, all looking to get back into title contention. Dan Henderson took a step closer to accomplishing that goal with his epic win over Shogun Hua in what could have been one of the greatest fights in UFC history. It was such a war, both fighters ended up in the hospital, so UFC President Dana White broke down the fight.
I thought Shogun was out the first round. I didn't think that thing was going to make it out of the first. It went 5 with him on top and having the most dominant round of the entire fight. The second round, Dan Henderson was breathing so hard, I thought he was done. And they went 5 rounds, man. It was incredible.
You know, the last round, we were just telling him it's all hard at that point. It was close. We were nail biting on the corner, but, he's a warrior, man. He showed it time and time again, and, it's fun to watch.
Having lost 6 of 8 fights, and UFC President Dana White hinting he should retire, Wanderlei Silva's impending retirement party will have to wait. The axe murderer showed he still has some fight left in him and silenced some of his critics with his big victory over Cung Le.
My last fight before that is embarrassing for me. I lost like that. It's a great honor for me. Great have this opportunity. Thanks so much for believing in me. It's great. It's a great moment for me.
When guys start getting, consecutive knockouts and you keep them in there fighting, can we keep Wanderlei Silva rolling and keep him fighting? Of course we can. But I don't want to make $1 of that kind of money. We respect him, we care about him, and we don't want to see him stick around inside the octagon too long. He went in tonight. He won, and it was an incredible fight. He won fight of the night, by the way.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Congratulations.
A title shot against UFC champion Dominic Cruz was on the line when former WEC champions Brian Bowles and Uriah Faber went at it. Despite fighting only 4 months ago, the California kid's victory earned him another shot at his nemesis.
I just don't feel like he's a better fighter than I am, and I don't think that he proved it. This is for the UFC title, but it's for a personal vendetta. We're 1-1 now. There's a trilogy, and it's to find out who's the man for the rest of our lives.
After being on the losing end of 2 controversial decisions, you can't blame Martin Kampmann for being nervous when his fight with Rick Story went to the judges' scorecards. However, this time, things went Kampmann's way.
I felt confident I won that fight, but, I felt confident I won my last fight too, so, like I said before, I thought I was about to get screwed again, but I'm happy I got the win.
Stephan Bonnar took Kyle Kingsbury to the mat and then dominated him from there. Admitting it wasn't his most exciting fight, Stephan Bonnar then apologized to his fans.
You know, I have a reputation for having good fights, and, you know, I was controlling him on the ground. I heard some boos, and that hurt my feelings. So, sorry. But, you know, this is a tough sport, and, you know, you find a guy's weakness, you got to take advantage of it and get the win.
Who would you like to get in there next, possible?
I've always wanted to fight Rampage. You know, I've been, you know, we got a few wins now, and maybe get a big name.
The UFC machine will shut down next weekend, and then we'll finish an amazing run of 5 events in 6 weeks when Jason Miller takes on Michael Bisping in the Ultimate Fighter Season 14 finale. From a rainy San Jose, California, Ron Kruk for Inside MMA.
All right, thank you very much, Ron.
I'm singing in the rain. I thought that was how we walked back inside the place. I thought right away when Fred Astaire, right there.
You were thinking that.
It's a good thing, Mark.
You are a Gene Kelly guy.
Booma.
That's right. All right, Henderson Shogun. This is it. It is an instant classic. Fight of the year? I don't know. You be the judge. They kept up the tempo. They kept going. Nobody finished each other off. What do you think?
You know, I got to tell you the truth. I missed the fight. I didn't record, so I came home, and it was only the last 2 minutes I saw. And that was a slaughter. They were banging it out. I saw how they looked, and I think, oh, man, there was a hard fight. And everybody was shouting, fight of the year, fight of the year. So I said, oh, yeah, I couldn't wait to watch this fight. So the next day I reordered it and watched the fight. And then the first 2 rounds, they were good, but I really was thinking, there's a lot got to be happening to make this the fight of the year. You know, and then round number 3 came, and I think really that what made this fight as such a good fight is because they were both out of gas, and they fought their hearts out. It was like a Rocky boom, boom, boom fight. It was not a technical fight, whole pace. I was amazed that Hendo wasn't powerful throughout the whole 5 rounds, but then later I found out that he had a very bad cold, and that was the reason. But I truly believe that was the reason, because you could tell he was not that good.
What did you think about it?
That fight was amazing. I watched it. I mean, I sat at home and I was just, not only as a fighter, but as a fan of the sport, to sit and watch these guys duke it out and to show the heart and determination that Henderson had and that Shogun had. It was just like, wow. I mean, Shogun was dropped and he came back and showed what type of true champion is.
And then he rocked him.
And then rocked Henderson. And then, Henderson threw some right hands that were just from Egypt and like connected, and actually to watch Shogun recover from that and to finish the 5th round on top, and Henderson, giving his backup, but in the 4th round giving his backup, and then fighting off of that. I mean, it just like almost it was a repeat of when he fought Silva, and he got back on top.
I got a good guy on Twitter, Mike Goodwheat, and he said, what if that fight would have taken place in Japan? Who would have won? But I think then Shogun, with how they performed, because he dominated totally the round. In my eyes, actually, I thought it was a draw. It's going to be a draw. It was a 10-8 round at the end. First 3 rounds were for Hendo, and the last 2 were for Shogun.
I think it's easy to forget a lot of times when you look at the last round, because it was such a dominating thing, and that's the last thing you're thinking of, and you're like, oh, you give so much credit to that last round, but the first 3 rounds were brutal for Henderson.
Yeah.
And as far as the excitement goes in Fight of the Year, I would say, there's reasons why guys stand out as iconic people in the sport.
Oh, yeah.
And when you see 2 guys that have earned that, and then they have a performance like that, I think that's what's going to magnify the fight. I mean, it was an amazing fight, and then on top of it, it's 2 amazing guys that have earned it over time. So, I mean, it just adds to the flavor and adds to the mystique of the whole thing.
Yep. Like Boss said, it's like a movie. Yeah.
I thought it was a really cool fight, because I saw it at Buffalo Wild Wing, and there was actually a football game going on at the exact same time. And there are a lot of people there to watch football that never saw MMA in their lives. And I saw them slowly turn from watching their own sport and start being involved in MMA and cheering for MMA. And that was not even, you didn't even have to know anything about fighting to know that was amazing.
It was a hard fight, like hard. I mean,
it is. Yeah, you just watch some sporting events and you step back and go, I could see that again.
Yeah.
I think that's what made this such a great fight. You say, hey, roll that back. I want to take one more look at it.
Yep.
No matter what.
This could be a good one for a rematch again.
Yeah.
Most of the time we want to stay away from it.
That's right.
But in this particular case, because it was so close.
Dragan in Vienna. In Vienna, he watches Inside MMA.
Unbelievable. They
And
got TV there?
he said, shouldn't that be that would have been the one to put on Fox for everybody to see. Had they known, possibly so, as to the heavyweight championship.
Yeah, but on the other side, with
That
all the
night,
blood.
actually, if I would have saw
how do you pick
the Ben
that's
Henderson fight and Clay Guida fight, now that would have been the fight to watch. Watching that fight, I sat in the audience just like cold.
That was crazy. I was doing an interview at the same time, and I was looking at the screen while they were interviewing me.
That fight was amazing.
And I would say Vanderlei Silva. You talk about back against the wall.
Yep.
Back against the wall. This is it.
That's when he performs.
And here he comes up big against Kung Lee.
Gets rocked, and it comes back and shows the type of heart he really has, man.
And I would say people early on with that spinning back fist were saying, Vanderlei, say goodbye. This is the last time we're going to see him fight.
Right, yeah.
But no. He came back and was very impressive. You talk about iconic guys.
Yeah,
another guy.
that's what I was saying. One of my best friends is Vietnamese, and he said that Kung Lee's the Clint Eastwood of the Vietnamese culture there. I like that. And Vanderlei is like a old Viking warrior, for the Brazilians. I think all four of those guys, they all got fight of the night. Kung Lee, Dan Hua, and Vanderlei. And geez, they deserved it. And seriously, it reminded me of Braveheart, where you just take like different cultures and just have them go to battle for the
fight
just to the death.
You see, in Vanderlei's case, he actually was in the same shoes as I was. Coming off a loss.
That's right.
I actually didn't get knocked out the way he has from time again. Of the weight cutting's a big difference for him. Cutting down from 205 down to 85.
Yep.
And he looked a little different though. The weigh-in, he looked a little better in his step. When he came in for the fight, he looked like he was ready to fight, ready to compete. When he got dropped and was able to recover after that, it just showed that he was ready to get the win. When he got the win, I know all of his fans. Actually, I was kind of cheering for him myself too. I fought against Vanderlei, and I want to see someone succeed. I'm a guy at his level and his, being a champion. I want to see guys succeed, and seeing him succeed, it was great to see.
Who got the submission of the night?
It's
on the tip of my tongue.
That's right.
What a performance by Uriah against Brian Bowles.
Look at that.
And you got two former champs going at it. Tell me about it.
Oh man, I had a great time. I feel like I was just seeing stuff. I think it's a matter of time before my hands really have been coming into their own, and it's a matter of time. I've been wrestling since I was in the 8th grade, and that's second nature to me. And I've been doing jiu-jitsu at a high level for a long time, and it's just getting to the point where I feel like my hands and putting it all together is really coming to fruition.
I saw that after the Dominic Cruz fight. Every interview you can read, I was so impressed with your hands, and I said something clicked with him. And right now, his hands look phenomenal. I want to see the rematch just because of now he has time again to prepare. The hands get even better because you made a big leap, man. And here too, again, there was fast hands, powerful hands. Normally people have knockout power, you don't. And for some reason you developed it, and that's really cool.
Yeah, I gotta say, my instructor, Master Tong, he's been a guy that is one of the top boxing coaches in the world.
Oh, dude,
and he's been with me now for almost 3.5, 4 years, and I've really started to see the payouts from working with him, and I get more and more comfortable. I see it in my sparring. Our whole camp is getting great.
Yeah,
I think it really comes down to one of those confidence things for you.
That's
for that fight against Cruz, you kind of didn't pull the trigger at that point, and that fight was probably one of the fight of the years, of course. But I know the confidence from getting the submission, but getting the knockdown with that uppercut, that flying uppercut. Actually in sparring today, I tried that, and it worked really well.
Nice.
And it works against southpaw really well too. But like I say, your takedowns are always great as always, and I don't know. I want to see the world title again.
It's going to happen. I'm excited.
You're a better striker now. This third time around against him.
Oh, I'm a better striker every day. It's crazy, and I do a lot of things to work on it, and I haven't been bad. I had a lot of great fights. And I've been knocking everyone down. In the last 4 fights, I've knocked guys down or shook them at least and wobbled them, and you're going to see my best knockouts coming.
Is he a better fighter than the last time you fought him?
Who's that?
Cruz.
I don't know. He's not dangerous, though. I feel like he's the type of guy that, he's a world champion. There's a reason why he's there. He has my respect, but he doesn't have my respect when it comes to punching power or danger. I'll walk right through his punches and march forward. It's just going to be tracking him down and scoring more points on the way to finishing him.
I love the takedown and the guillotine and right away jumping to the other side.
Yeah.
That is cool stuff. That you can see that although you guys go for guillotines, because that's the defense, I always say. You know?
That's right. You know, and it was such a crazy weekend in sports. You might have seen USC Oregon game, then you flip over and you see the Baylor game against Oklahoma, and you watch Henderson. But did you see this one at the Hard Rock in Hollywood? We're going to show you what might be the fight of the year.
Yep.
Rafael Diaz taking on Marlon Sandro, first off featherweights in Bellator 58.